How's it going, everyone? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be Good Time. Now, this one's directed by Benny and Josh Sadfi, and I sound pretty white while saying that. Anyways, they directed another film from a few years ago called Heaven Knows What, which was kind of like a really gritty, grounded, just really kind of visceral movie about addiction, particularly to drugs. And I found it to be a really good movie. It was a really great kind of showcase for these directors to show kind of like what their style is, kind of like this kind of visceral, hyper reality almost, but it also feels kind of grounded. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Didn't make it my top 10, but I enjoyed it quite a lot. Anyways, this one's Good Time. This one stars Robert Pattinson and actually one of the directors, Benny Sadfi, and a slew of other people. Jennifer Jason Leigh pops up and whatnot. So essentially, the story is Benny Sadfi, who is brothers with Robert Pattinson's character in the film. He gets arrested, he goes to jail, so Robert Pattinson tries to do his best to try to bail him out, so he tries to get money, and then that doesn't work, so he tries something else, and I'm going to go ahead and just let it be, because I think one of the best things about this film is its unpredictability and just taking you on this wild ride of people in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I liked it quite a bit, so let's get real and break this down. So when I saw Heaven Knows What from a few years ago, I noticed that the Sadfi brothers have a distinct style, and this style is basically almost guerrilla filmmaking, of filming these actors in these kind of populous areas where there's a lot of people roaming around, but these actors kind of fit into their characters so well, they actually feel like real characters and real people like you would see on the street, so they actually blend in with the environment. And the camera work, which has got a handheld feel to it, it feels like you're following real people, and so that actually translates over into Good Time as well, even though it has Robert Pattinson, who came off of one of the biggest franchises for little tweens. So, him actually sinking himself into this role, growing the goatee, dyeing his hair, he really kind of got in there, and he was almost unrecognizable because I was so just entranced into his performance. And that's another way to describe this movie. Is it's entrancing, from its story to its unpredictability to its characters to its realism to its hyperactive cinematography to its urgency in its editing. It's all just in your face, but you go along for the ride because it's just so well executed on such a small budget. It just kind of blows your mind. So listen, the Sadfi brothers, they love that handycam kind of realism and whatnot, and I think it works for this film and against this film. It works for the film because of, like I said, the story and the characters feel so realistic. It feels like you're following real people, which actually gets you to emotionally attach yourself to them even more than you would over stylized Hollywood movie. You actually feel for all these characters. Even with the opening shot, you just automatically feel for these people. The camera work, like I said, is a pro and a con. The pro for that, and the con because I had the same problem I had in Heaven Knows What, and that would be the extreme close-ups. The Sadfi brothers really love their extreme close-ups. And I'm not talking like close-ups from, like maybe your neck or whatever to like a little bit above your head. I'm talking like this, like forehead to chin, everything in between, almost the entire time. And that can get a little nauseating a little bit, kind of make you feel a little sickly as you're watching it, because when you're cutting in between conversations at such a rapid pace and you kind of go between extreme close-up to extreme close-up, it can be a little jarring. And I have that same problem here as I do with Heaven Knows What. But it's not as apparent in this one as the other one. The other one was almost unwatchable, even though I still liked it. But this one is backed up by the kind of powerful directing and the really great performances. Another great thing I found about this movie that I really enjoyed was the music. It had like this 80s kind of synth, just like almost like Rush feel, where like everything was just like so hyper active, going along with the characters and the situation, that I really got into it. And even the opening credits almost seemed like a kind of like old school 80s film, so it actually worked out to its favor. So overall, guys, I'm debating on whether I want to put this in my top 10 or not. I'm going to shock you when I give out my grade. Listen, my only negatives, to be honest with you, are some of the camera work. It can be a little too extreme close-up-y, a little bit too nauseous for my taste. And also, I wish the ending of the film would have been kind of intercut with one of the almost final shots of the film to kind of bookend the beginning of the film. So if they would just kind of blended that in together and just kind of ended cut to black, it would have made for an even more powerful experience, even though I still enjoyed the movie up into that. Those are my only two nitpicks. And I guess another one is there's a couple other actors that pop up, including Jennifer Jason Leigh and Barkhad Abdi, who is an Oscar-nominated actor from Captain Phillips. They're in this movie, but they're kind of wasted a little bit. They just kind of like show up, say a few lines, and then just kind of leave. So it is a little, I wish there was more, but that's just more selfish reasoning. But their characters actually fit well with the story and the flow of it. So it's definitely one of those adventures to where I saw the trailer and I knew kind of what the movie was about, but I wanted to go in kind of blind and just see it for myself. It transfixes you, man, because you have no idea where this movie's going to go. They set up the problem, they go to the solution, and then Robert Pattinson gets into this little maze of like just things that are going wrong, and just like, what is going to happen to this guy? He's just a guy with very bad luck who is kind of like the bad brother versus the good brother in Benny Sadfied, who we both appreciate their love for one another. Obviously, one's good and one's kind of not so good, but he's still likable enough to follow. And he even compares himself to a dog in the film, which is true because he's very approachable on the outside. He's very kind of friendly, and then if you mess with him, he's going to tear your stuff up. So I love this film quite a bit. Good Time. The more I talk about it, the more I just love it. So I'm going to give Good Time a solid A. I love it. It's just a very unpredictable adventure that I found myself engrossed in from start to finish, and that all has to hinder on the director's vision and style and Robert Pattinson's awesome performance. And I gotta give a shout out to Benny Sadfied as well. Brother, you're a great actor. Hell, the movie opens up with him, and I'm like, oh man, how is this gonna go? Because I knew he was in it, and then he killed it. So yeah, performance is all around great, but Robert Pattinson really carrying this film and probably be my favorite performance he has ever done. So what did you guys think about Good Time? Or have you even heard of it? Have you heard of Heaven Knows What? Comment below my face and let me know about both of those movies. So I'm Chase Lee, guys, reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.